One of the most acclaimed novels of 2002 was Alice Sebold's The Lovely Bones. It tells the story of Susie Salmon, who was murdered by a neighbor when she was 14. However, Sebold has not fashioned a mere murder mystery, but rather a story that questions the power those in the afterlife have on each other as well as the living. The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. My name was Salmon, like the fish. First name Susie. I was 14 when I was murdered on December 6, 1973. My murderer was a man from our neighborhood. On the evening of December 6th, it was snowing, and I took a shortcut through the cornfield back from the junior high. 6 feet from where Mr. Harvey stood, I stuck my tongue out to taste the snowflake. "Don't let me startle you, Mr. Harvey," I said. "You're the older Salmon girl, right? I built something back here. Would you like to see?" "I'm sort of cold, Mr. Harvey. My mom likes me home before dark." "It's after dark, Susie. Come see." He said it'd only take a minute, so I followed him a little further into the cornfield. "I've made a hiding place," said Mr. Harvey. "I don't see anything." "You should be more observant, Susie." I feel like observing my way out of there, but I didn't. "Try again." "What's that?" I asked. "It's wood. It keeps the entrance from collapsing. Other than that, it's all made of earth. Come see." It was awkward to get into, but I was so amazed by how he had made the chimney that would draw smoke out if he ever chose to build a fire that the awkwardness of getting in and out of the hole wasn't even on my mind. "This is neato," I said. Mr. Harvey asked me if I'd like a refreshment. I said I had to go home. "Be polite and have a Coke." "Okay, I'll have a Coke." "You're very pretty, Susie." Thanks." "Do you have a boyfriend?" "No, Mr. Harvey, this is a cool place, but I have to go now." "You aren't leaving, Susie? You're mine now." I fought as hard as I could, but I could not let Mr. Harvey hurt me, but my hard as I could was not hard enough, not even close, and I was soon laying down on the ground, in the ground, with him on top of me, panting and sweating. I was so alive then, and I thought it was the worst thing in the world to be laying flat on my back with a sweating man on top of me, to be trapped inside the earth and have no one know where I was. I thought of my mother. My mother would be checking the dial of the clock on her oven. She'd be worried, but more angry than worried. Mr. Harvey started to press his lips against mine. "Don't, Mr. Harvey, don't. Please, please don't. Don't, please, please don't." Mr. Harvey made me lie still underneath him and listen to the beating of his heart and the beating of mine. We lay there with our bodies touching, and as I shook, the powerful knowledge took hold. He was going to kill me. I did not realize that I was an animal already dying. "Why don't you get up?" I could not move. I could not get up. He leaned to the side, bringing back a knife, unsheathed. It smiled at me, curving up a grin. "Tell me you love me. Tell me that you love me." Gently, I did. The end came anyway. When I first entered heaven, I soon realized we had been given the heavens of our simplest dreams. There were no teachers in the school. We never had to go inside except for art class, and our textbooks were 17 and Glamour and Vogue. I met Holly, who became my roommate on the 3rd day. "Hi," I said. "My name is Susie. How long have you been here?" 3 days. "Me too." So it began. Franny, my intake counselor, became our guide. Franny was old enough to be our mother, mid-40s. It took Holly and me a while to figure out that this had been something we'd wanted, our mothers. Franny walked over to me on the 5th day. "I'm here to help," she said. "I have something to tell you." She handed me a piece of paper. "When you feel stronger, look at it and go there." 2 days later, Franny's map led me to a field. I waited only a moment. She was small for her age, and she had been on Earth, and she wore a calico dress that was frayed at the hem and the cuffs. She paused and we stared at each other. "Do you know Franny?" I asked. The little girl nodded solemnly. She gave me the map to this place. "Then you must be ready. I was Flora Hernandez. What was your name?" I told her, then began to cry with comfort to know a little girl he killed. The others will be here soon, she said. As Flora twirled, watching her skirt fly out in a circle, the other girls came through the field in all directions as I called their names. Lydia Johnson, Pennsylvania, 1966. Flor Hernandez, Delaware, 1963, 8. Leah Fox, Delaware, 1969, 12. Jackie Meyer, Delaware, 1967, 13. Susie Salmon, Pennsylvania, 1973, 14. Our heartache poured into one another like water from cup to cup. Each time I told my story, I lost a bit, the smallest bit of pain. It was that day that I knew I wanted to tell the story of my family, because horror on earth is real, and it is every day. It's like a flower, or like the sun. It cannot be contained.